Hello, today I want to talk about the interplay or relationship between hard work, good luck, and success. And this comes after the idea that not because a person is a hard worker, they are necessarily successful. And luck oftentimes has a lot to do with it. And I'm going to start by just relating things to my own personal story. So I have experienced numerous successes in my life, and a significant part of those success have been attributed to good luck. For example, the mere fact of living in Canada and having enough money to pay for my rent and for my food, that already placed me in the 1% globally. So when I go to a restaurant and I give a tip to a waiter, that tip, that $5 or even $10 or sometimes $20, depending if I go to a fancy restaurant, that's already the monthly earnings of many individuals somewhere else in the world. And I managed to give that tip because I am here in Canada, an industrialized country where there are so many opportunities available to all of us, and for many of us to give a $5 tip is nothing. Wow, that would be the whole month earnings of somebody else in another country. For example, in my streets, in my neighborhood, the streets are clean. There is a rule of law. I can go out on the streets and feel safe. I don't feel ever fear that someone is going to mug me or rob something for me or anything like that. And that is just mere pure luck that I happen to be in this lovely industrialized country. In my apartment, I have running water, or all I do is turn on the tap, and there it is. I can even drink the water from my tap. In fact, not even that I can do that, that's what I do. Every day I drink a glass of water or two from the tap. I don't buy even bottled water, and it's just amazing, pure, clean, good tasting water. And when I come in through my apartment, I just flick the switch and I have light. So many people don't have light. And then that's not even mentioning luxuries such as internet access. And I have a laptop computer. Yes, I admit it, my laptop computer is all as well as my phone because I am a frugal person. But these are things that in our society we take for granted. I can actually take off my phone right here and call someone in the other side of the world. I call my mother in Colombia from here through an application called WhatsApp, and it's just free, and she's available, and it costs me nothing. So these are things that we already take for granted, and and this highlight how lucky we are to live in this country, and just by the mere existence and just being able to pay rent, luck has played a humongous role in our life. And of course, we all know that many people around the world don't have any kind of similar privilege as we have. And what happens is that we usually don't compare ourselves to the people who are worse off. I don't compare myself to the people in Southeast Asia or in Africa or in other places that they are struggling. I usually compare myself to my neighbor who has a nice car, or when I go to a fancy restaurant, to the people who can afford the most expensive dinner or whatever. So we are always comparing ourselves with the people who are at some economic level higher than us, and that makes us feel like losers. But we are so lucky just to have all this opportunity available to us. So successful people, they can attribute their success just to hard work, but also to good luck. Good luck plays a significant part of it. And it's not only the good luck of being in a country like Canada or the United States, but also luck has something to do when it comes to our parents and the people who are around us. For example, if you are born into a family of parents that in which education is the norm and you are expected to go to college and get a higher education, that is mere good luck that you are born into that family, and that most likely you are going to get higher education as well. And if you are born into a family where they teach you to have self-confidence, well, you're going to be walking around the world full of self-confidence, believing that everything is possible and that all you have to do is just make a few phone calls and things will happen. That as opposed to people who grew up in a family where education is just not that important, and the best that you could hope for is for a job in a fast food restaurant. And there are also families in which you don't learn to have self-confidence. So yes, so if I live in Canada or the United States and I have a family who insists on having an education, if I do anything successful in my life, luck has already played a big role into my success. And it's just we should keep that in mind. And not only that, but also the time of the economic cycle in which you were born. For example, if I grew up in a cycle, in let's say the cycle of the Great Depression, where I see a scarcity and people struggling everywhere around me, I may grew up with a little bit of fear of the economy, and maybe I wouldn't risk putting anything in the stock market, because that's the mentality of people who grew up during the time of the Great Recession. So as opposed to, let's say I was born or I was growing up a few years later, at the time after the World War II, where there was a huge economic boom and everything was prosperous. Okay, so I'm going to grow up believing that everything is possible, that I could just put my money into the stock market and the stock market will do the rest. I will see little downturns in the stock market as little momentary hiccups, that my money is safe. So not only the family where I'm born, the country where I'm born, but the economic cycle in which I grew up has a lot to do on my outlook on life, or how I see the future, and what kind of opportunities are available to me, and that continues highlighting how important luck is. So many people make poor decisions, but it's actually not poor decisions. That have to do a lot with their family, with their background, with economic cycles where they grew up, etc., etc. I consider myself lucky. I have had some successes in my life. It's mostly out of good luck. And yes, I have worked hard for some of the achievements that I have achieved, of some of the things that I have achieved to have, but I never discount good luck. So, of course, hard work is often the reason of success, but never forget about our good luck. Thank you so much for listening, and talk to you soon. Goodbye.